All right, guys, listen up. Everybody, listen up. Everybody, pay attention. Phones away, computers away, headphones away. Everything's going away. Come on, let's go. I don't want to see any of it. I need you guys to be fully engaged. Come on, phones away. Come on, let's go. Headphones away. Headphones away. Headphones away. That means you too. Come on, guys. Phones away. Headphones away. Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. Put everything away. Come on, let's go. Put it away. All right. Okay, guys, so today, before I get started, just some reminders, okay? Next class, we got the quiz, all right, which is going to be Chapter 4. That's a mistake there. I'll fix it. Don't worry. It's going to be on Chapter 4, Information Systems, okay? So make sure you study for that. I didn't want to drop the quiz on you, after a 3-day weekend, so I'm going to do it next class, all right? Okay, so, and also, next class is going to be Professional Dress Day, okay? So you guys are going to dress professionally. Make sure you follow all the examples are there. You can use that or something like it, okay? You want to practice dressing professionally. Look right here. This guy's a business owner. Look at how he's dressed. You see that? That's how you want to look, all right? So that's a good example. I'll introduce him in just a second, all right? So very important. Quiz, and you got professional dress next class, okay? All right, so that brings me to our guest speaker. So our guest speaker is Rafael Garcia, all right? He's an alumni from Miami Springs. All right, now he owns his own logistics company. Okay, so this is the real deal. All right, he has his own logistics company. He makes money doing it. He's got employees. All right, we're going to record this also, so just so you guys are aware. So please put the phones away and all that. I want to share this recording with other high school logistics classes around the country. Okay, I have friends in other states too that do this. All right, so we help each other out. So please give him your full attention. He's going to talk to you guys about opportunities in logistics and AI and technology, and also you can ask him questions. He's a business owner. A lot of you guys have questions about drop shipping and like e-commerce and all that get rich quick crap that you guys see on the internet. He'll tell you if that's real or not, all right? So ask him, all right? Ask questions, be engaged, and, take advantage, guys. He could be running his own business today, but he chose to be here to lend his time to you guys, okay? So use that, take advantage of that, all right?
So some of you guys are here from last class, correct? Raise your hand. They'll tell you, was it different than most people that come up? Was it better? Did you get something out of it? So please pay attention. I get paid to give this information out. And I'm giving it out for free to you guys. So pay attention. Don't be on the phone. If I'm talking to you guys, you don't want to listen, just don't be on the phone. I'm not going to disrespect you guys. Don't disrespect me. I get paid for this. They pay me $4.50 an hour to go into a company. And that's not $4.50. $450 an hour. To go into a company and say the things that I want to say to you guys. And I want you to get this information and learn how to make money. Everybody's making it except you guys. So might as well, Last class, I don't necessarily want to talk about the same. You guys are a little bit different. I think I'm going to go into more of the e-commerce. So some of the guys that are here from last class could get out of it. I'm going to go into private label. I'm going to teach you how to do e-commerce, how to get financing for it. What am I going to sell? How am I going to sell it? And understand what you guys would like to do. It might not be for everybody. You might not go into business by yourself, but you might be able to take that information, go somewhere else, and get paid for it. I was explaining to some of the guys from last class. You guys are at a big disadvantage. You guys are competing with everybody in Miami once you get out of high school. In the labor force, you're going to be competing with everybody in Florida, and you're going to be competing with everybody in the U.S. Competition is not local anymore once you start working. So once you get out of high school and you go to a business like me, how much did I say that I was paying somebody a month? $650 a month. That's what I'm paying right now. I just hired somebody last week. $650 a month overseas. You're competing with those people too. And those people are better than you. And better than me too, by the way. And it's not just you guys. But your competition, especially after COVID, is international. $650 a month. And they're a mechanical engineer. They're a wizard. So that's the type of competition that you guys have. And you guys are what? Sophomores, juniors, seniors? So let's say 4 years from now, seniors, you're what, 17 right now? 4 years from now, you're what, 21? You go into a labor market. What do you think your competition is 4 years from now? It's going to be even worse than what it is. And another competition, and I'm not just going to talk about logistics. I'm going to talk a little bit about everything. But another competition, and I'm just going to show this. Some of you guys saw it. I just want them to see it.
Labeling use care. Our solution is easy to use. Start by picking the area of the warehouse you want to scan and take the drone and
I know these guys personally. I have clients that they use this technology. I put this company in contact with Nick so they could come and showcase for you guys.
Drones use labels placed on your racks to navigate and fly in most warehouse environments with no modifications.
That is what's happening in every single industry. If you go to the medical industry, it is happening. Maybe not like this, but it's happening. If you go to the warehousing industry, it's happening. Transportation, it's happening. Wholesale, retail, it's happening. When you go to Publix, what are you seeing? When you go to Walmart, self-checkout. Look at the size of the building and count how many people you see on the video.
After the mission is complete, images are automatically
I'm going to show you another one.
processing by a machine learning algorithm.
Guys, the drones all the product in the warehouse.
So before, they had a whole bunch of people doing inventory. I have a client, buried distribution. That's what they call. They have a 750,000 square foot facility in Cali. And before, they had a whole bunch of people doing inventory. Now, they have one person. They cut their staff by like 70%. They have one person doing inventory. And that person is responsible for a whole aisle. The drone will fly, it'll send a signal, and it'll scan everything along the sides. All those people that we used to work at that warehouse are out of a job. And whatever industry that you go in, they're going to that industry because they have to go somewhere. Who wants to go into the medical industry? You know what they're doing at the hospitals? So they're sending that, let's say if I do a CT scan, whatever, MRI, they're sending it to India, and the diagnosis is coming from India. That's what the hospitals are doing. So, and it's going on, and a lot of the times, they're better. They're better than the US. Our education system is trash. Very few people are doing what they're doing here. And the problem is that a lot of times, the people that are teaching you, they're not practitioners. So you have to understand that you have to create value within yourself for somebody or me to pay for you. Otherwise, you're out of luck. This is real. Pack Expo, the biggest packing expo in the world. They do it in Las Vegas. And Kawasaki was showcasing everything. They pack, they assemble. Count how many people you see. By the way, this is the Trade and Logistics Academy. So logistics is not necessarily trucking. Now logistics, when you ask me the question, logistics, it applies to every single industry that you touch. 30%, anybody knows what GDP is? That's fine. The global economy, logistics accounts for 30% of it. Logistics could be insurance. You could go into the insurance industry and be in logistics. You could go into the tech. That's massive. AI there's a massive, industry. It's a massive growth when it comes to AI technology. That's where the industry is moving into. Planning, purchasing. You could want to be a doctor. I have a friend. She's the purchasing manager for Mount Sinai. She's in logistics. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do trucking or you got to do shipping, and that's not what it is. Planning, getting the information, how many cells, so this is, by the way, this is the first stage. And it dictates the economy. It's like a wheel turning. So let's say if I'm selling a product, first stage is planning. So I look at my previous sales for the last 3 months and I know how much to produce. So if I have to buy inventory, okay, if my sales are down, I'm buying less. I'm not gonna hold all that inventory if I'm not moving it. So that's the first stage. Planning, procurement, sourcing, purchasing, all these things are logistics. You could be in the medical industry, you could be in the insurance industry, hospitality, everything. It touches everything. And I want you guys to take some of that information and whatever, you don't have to do logistics, I could care less. But wherever you go, whatever industry you go into, to take that information, and if they're going to pay you, I don't know, $1,000 a week, I want you to get paid $1,500 a week. But you got to have something for me to pay you that extra $500. If you're just going to come in and say, I'm Jose Gomez, pay me $1,500, it's not going to happen. Again, you don't see people. More and more, this is happening. Florida is about 7 to 8 years behind what's going on with the rest of the country. But it's catching up. I was explaining something else to the previous class. Why is everybody moving to robotics? Liability. So my insurance costs, when I have you guys inside of a warehouse or inside of my facility, whether it be the medical industry, whether it be insurance, if something happens, it could be an office. It doesn't have to be a warehouse. My insurance cost is through the roof when I have you guys. If I don't have you in there, my insurance, it'll come down, a lot. Exactly. And these guys don't make mistakes. You guys do. So you have to understand what you're competing with in order for you guys to be able to get paid. And that's not the only competition. You have to think about it international. My brother, the phone, man, no, it's cool. But now, last class, I broke him into groups, and I had him create a business. I'm going to teach you guys how to create a business, get into financing. This time, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to teach you guys how to do e-commerce. How many people have ever thought of something like that? Drop shipping, e-commerce, raise your hand. 1, 2. Okay. 2 words. Private label. You ever heard of that, my man? Never heard of private label? White label. White label, private label is the same thing. So meaning, I own the factory. Whether it be in China, US, India, it don't really matter. You want to sell what? Give me something that you thought of. Toothbrush. Okay. So you're going to put your brand. Give me a name. Calderon toothbrush. Okay, so you come to, let's say, if you're thinking toothbrush, you go to China. You give him, okay, this is my name. I want to do private label, white label for toothbrush. So they're going to ask MOQ, minimum order quantity. And they might say it's 300 in order for you to be able to put your label on it. You could buy 50, but it's my brand. If you want to put your name on it, you got to buy 300. That's MOQ, minimum order quantity. Once you buy that, you bring it over, hold the inventory, and then you sell it. E-commerce. E-commerce is simple. You open a Shopify account if you want to sell it directly to the consumers. So you open a Shopify account and you sell it. Now, the hard part is the marketing, because you're as much a marketing company as an e-commerce company, so it's more marketing. You got to put a story behind that. I was already explaining it to some of the guys before. But important. Private label, MOQ. If I want to do pharma, I can put a manufacturing plant for pharmaceuticals. I have to go to a pharmaceutical company. That's what Pfizer does. That's what Johnson & Johnson does. So I just got back from Barcelona. It's called CPHI. How many people have seen the Miami Beach Convention Center? Have you guys ever seen the Miami Beach Convention Center? You have? Okay. It's about the size of what? A little bit about the size of the high school. Maybe a little bit. So CPHI is the largest pharmaceutical conference. They do it in the US and they do it in Europe. CPHI is the show is about 6 times the size of the high school. It's 36,000 people. You got Pfizer showcasing, Johnson & Johnson, Baxter, all the large pharmaceuticals. People go to CPHI. It's 36,000 people in CPHI. 36,000 people. You go to CPHI and learn about the different pharmaceuticals. It could be supplements, vitamins, and you just go to the booth and say, what's your MOQ? I want to do private label for that product. You could do CBD. You could do vitamins. You could do over-the-counter medicine. It could be whatever you want. Private label. Anybody could do that. A lot of people do it, and they make a lot of money on it. Private label is basically, I'm going to come up and say, listen, I have my brand. I do a trademark. So let's say Calderon toothbrush, right? So first thing you do is this. So you have to do a trademark. The power of Google. You do a trademark. Trademark is you're registering the name. I own the name. I own Nike. I own this. Then kind of like a copyright. I own the name. So I go to the manufacturer and say, I want you to put my logo, my brand on your product, and I'm gonna buy X amount, 1,000. Sephora does it. They're a manufacturer. Sephora doesn't manufacture anything. They're a brand. And they go to, makeup manufacturer, cosmetics manufacturers. And they tell them, I'm going to buy X amount. I want you to go ahead and put my brand on it. You're trademarking an idea. So you're taking your idea and making sure nobody takes it from you. That's basically what you're doing. Sephora, what they do is, they'll go into the facility, manufacturer. I like this product, I don't like that one. I'll do the compliance and the quality control. So give me this. I'll take it to my chemist. I'll see if it's good. If it's good, we're good to go. Give me 5,000 SKUs. SKUs are a different type of product, basically. Have you guys ever been to Publix or Costco and you see the paper towel that says Publix? That's private label. Publix is not making paper towel. They don't have a mill. Go ahead. They might have their own brand. There's manufacturers that they only do private label. I only manufacture for you to put your brand on it. Others, they have their own brand. So you could go, even if they have their own brand, I could go up to them and say, listen, I want to buy 1,000 units. I just want to go ahead and put my brand on it. And then they'll tell you, you gotta buy 2,000. Okay, I'll buy 2,000. And that's how it works. MOQ, minimum order quantity. That's what we want to do. What was the question, brother? Okay.
They do it that way because it's cheaper. Like instead of making it themselves here in the United States, they outsource it to other countries.
And you have to understand, whatever you're buying, so when you're buying pharma, like a medicine, there's the packaging component. Each industry is separate. Packaging. So they're regulated by the FDA, just like the actual medicine is regulated by the FDA. API, applied pharmaceutical ingredients. That's the actual chemical that you use to go ahead and make the pharmaceutical. So that's the raw material. So whatever you're buying with this, Air Forces, whatever that may be, there's raw materials that you got to source. And that's where logistics comes in. You're sourcing, producing, and bringing it to market. That information, it'll open your mind to a whole different, world. So what we'll do is this. You're gonna come up with an idea. I'm gonna bring you guys into groups. I'm gonna go group by group. I'm gonna teach you how to create a business, how to get financing for it, how to bring it to market. If you want to sell to businesses or if you want to sell to consumers, and you gotta come up with an idea, and you're gonna do private label. I'm gonna do it specifically. I'm not gonna do it as general as last time. We're gonna do private label. So you could go ahead and think of shoes. Even how do you find? Let's say if I want to get into apparel, they price it by thread. When you buy linens or sheets and Macy's, the higher thread count, the more you pay. Same thing is for apparel. It's the weight of the cotton. And where do I find cotton? So all you got to do is go back to the same places they used to find it everywhere before. Anybody knows what the Silk Road is? What is it? The trade route. From where to where? South Asia. Why? Why was it called the Silk Route? That's where all the textile comes. India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all that area, China. And it was called the Silk Route for that reason. It's still the same. So if I want to buy Indonesia, if I want to buy apparel, the actual textile is coming from them. I might make it in Mexico, I might make it in Guatemala, but I'm still sourcing in Asia. So I'm gonna bring you guys into groups. Nick, you tell me how groups of what? You come up with an idea and a product. I don't care. Auto parts, whatever you want.
So guys, come over here. Sit on this side. Try to on this side. All right, guys. So break yourself up into groups of 8. Groups of 8. All right.
You got 3 minutes to come up with an idea.
Come up with a product. Where are you gonna source it?
Come on, man. Come on, Ricky. Come on, man. Yeah, man. Come on. It'll be good, man. 3 minutes. Just give me an idea. Something that you like, something that you gravitate to. Give me something. Something that you guys like. Apparel, backpacks. I just want something, And I want you to go through the motion. I'm going to come in once a month. I want to put you guys through the motions to teach you how to do a business. I don't care if you do it at the end of the day, but take that information, and you never know, man. You never know. Any ideas that you guys have? I don't want her to give me the idea because she's already been through it. You know. Come on. What happened? Clothing brand. We'll go. You have to understand shoes and apparel is two different things. So if you see a lot of companies doing apparel and e-commerce, you don't see a lot of people doing shoes. You know why? The more sales that you have, the quicker you go out of business. Because you got New Balances. So you gotta have sizes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 12. You gotta have different colors. How much inventory is that gonna have? Is that gonna be? So if you do shoes, you can still do it. There's nothing wrong with that. How many new shoe companies you see coming into the market? Nobody wants to get in it. Nobody wants to get in it. Because the more sales that you have, you go out of business. So you could think of apparel and come up with an idea. Okay, I'm gonna do hoodies, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Do I want to do regular apparel or I want to go like high-end fashion? And I'm gonna go ahead and teach you on the specifics. So, for example, if you want to do apparel, there's a trade show it's called Magic. Magic, they do it in Las Vegas. So let's say if I want to get into the apparel business, I go to Magic. I think it's like $75 to go into the show, and then all the manufacturers, the people that manufacture for Gucci, for Louis Vuitton, the actual factory showcases in Magic. And the only difference, you have the same quality product, and you're paying $3.70 a shirt, and Gucci's selling it for $500, and it's the same quality. And that to 500, there's got to be a market for you. It might not be 500, it might not be 300, it might be 20, it might be 15. But a lot of people have that limitation in their mind. I'm over here because I think a lot of people have that limitation in their mind, and you're limited to what you see. He's limited to what you see on his daily basis. He is too. She is too. I was too. I'm trying to expand your vision for you to see something else. So go with that. Go with apparel. So when I ask you how you gonna find the product, you're gonna tell me Magic. I'm gonna go to the Magic show. Go on Google right now and look at the factories that showcase. They manufacture for LV, Dolce & Gabbana, all these people. Whatever they're wearing, they own the factory. And you weigh. Let's say you cut a piece of the thread. There's something that they use. You cut the clothing, and you actually weigh the textile. Based on the textile, it tells you the quality, and it's called GSM. I don't know, and the G is GSM. I don't know what it stands for, but it's due to the weight. It's the quality of the fabric per weight. And if you do apparel, you're a marketing company, so you have to do a lot of marketing. You have to do a lot of marketing behind that. But come up with that idea and just try to put it together. Help them out, and try to be involved, and and then I'm gonna give you guys information. You never know, man. It's gonna be different. You never know, and you never know when that information it's gonna be useful. So, and I'm gonna teach you how to get money out of it, and get money to go ahead and finance it. So go through it. Get in groups. Don't just sit there and just and just look around. Like, I want you guys to talk to each other and get something out of them. I think I'm gonna have to start putting money up to as a trophy. All right. Did you guys come up with anything? It's all of you guys?
No, it's
You guys are by yourself? Okay. Did you guys come up with anything? I don't, It could be anything. It could be electronics. It could be shoes. It could be apparel. Whatever you want. Auto parts. I don't care. Just give me a product. But you guys got to come up with something because you guys are gonna go up. No, no, no. I mean, I don't know if you guys. They'll probably go first. You guys will probably be second. It's fine. You're not supposed to have the answers. When you go up, I'm gonna poke holes on everything that you say, and it's and that's how it's supposed to be. Because you're gonna see me. I'm gonna poke holes on them. I'm gonna poke holes on you guys, on everybody.
Okay, so we choose a product.
Okay. Okay. You're gonna create a business. They're together. All together. Lo que quiero es que van a crear un negocio. Cuando creen el negocio, yo les voy a enseñar cómo coger dinero para el negocio, cómo traer el producto al mercado y cómo lo van a vender. Pero lo que tienen que hacer es la idea. Obviamente, ustedes no pueden fabricar. So, por ejemplo, si yo quiero... Can I borrow this real quick? So, si yo quiero vender esto, pero quiero ponerle mi marca, quiero una compañía, un negocio, y le pongo mi marca, eso es private label. So, donde tú lo que quiero es que tengan una idea, en un papel, escribe el nombre que le quieren poner y dime un producto que lo que quieren hacer. Y de ahí vamos a ir paso a paso. Cuando estén arriba, no están supuestos a saberlo todo. Pero lo que quiero es que aprendan, porque a lo mejor tú nunca lo vas a usar, pero él lo usa, o él lo usa, o ella lo usa. Y a lo mejor ella nunca hace un negocio, pero esa información lo lleva a otra empresa. Y lo que quiere es que les paguen, que les paguen. Cuando salgan a trabajar, el mercado no paga y no les va a pagar. Ahora, sobre todo, está pagando poco. Eso es lo que quiero, que aprendan a hacer dinero. Es lo que estoy tratando de enseñar. Por eso que es importante. Cojan una idea, que hablen entre ellos y como por una idea, un nombre y un producto. Y yo les voy a enseñar cómo hacer eso. Cuando yo les enseñe, quizás a ninguno le sirva, para quizás a ellos dos les dé la idea y en un par de años lo hagan. Lo que quiero es abrirle la mente. Vayan pensando y vayan mirando ahí. Alright. I know you guys been through it already. You got a little bit of experience. What are you guys gonna do? Toothbrush. Write the name. Yeah, write the name for the brand. Write it down on a piece of paper so you have it. And you're gonna be selling to e-commerce or you're gonna be selling to businesses. E-commerce. Okay. No, it's called B2B, business to business. It's like, for example, if I'm selling to a business, I'm selling wholesale. Or are you gonna be selling to a consumer, to to a person? So I want you to go through that motion. So just come up with an idea, and now you guys you kind of define on what you want to do. Get on Google right now what the quality of a toothbrush is. Try to learn something. I just want you to, once you go up, I want you to tell me something that you think the toothbrush should have that I don't know, because I don't know anything about toothbrush. I just go to Walgreens or CVS and just buy one. But now that you're going into it, I want you to look at it as a real business. Okay, I'm gonna sell a toothbrush. Why are they going to buy mine? So try to take that approach, and okay, my toothbrush has to have this. The material. I mean, I don't know. So get on Google right now, really quick, and find something. 10 qualities of a good toothbrush. And learn how to find information. When you go up, and then where to find it. Okay, so did you guys come up with anything? Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay, eyewear. I'm going to give you the game. Let me go around so I can see you guys. Okay. Eyewear. Tell me your favorite brand. Perfect. Okay, Ray-Ban. Nobody knows this. So let's say, how much you think Gucci glasses are worth? They're Gucci doesn't manufacture any glasses. You know, so Luxottica. Want to write it down for you? Oh, you got it? Okay, you guys are ahead of the game. So Luxottica, they're an Italian brand, and they manufacture in Georgia. Yeah. Why do you think they manufacture in Georgia? Because the money's in the U.S. If they manufacture in Italy, they, Italy doesn't have any money. They're broke. Europe doesn't have any money. They're broke. The consumer is here. So you have 320 million people, and they're buying in the U.S. So from your standpoint, you guys are so far the most well put together idea. So you're gonna do a brand, and you're gonna do a Shopify account. You're gonna sell to wholesale. You're gonna sell to consumers. What happened? Consumers. So you're gonna do a Shopify account. And so you're buying from Luxottica. You're gonna put a DC in Atlanta. Atlanta's not bad because you're gonna keep it close to the factory, and they're gonna give you free ship, free delivery. So, and then you guys, you see. So Luxottica, they manufacture for money. They own Oakley, they own Ray-Ban, and they own Sunglass Hut. And they manufacture for Armani, Gucci, Dolce Gabbana, Louis Vuitton. Tell me another one. What am I missing? They manufacture for everybody. They're the kings. They have a vertical integration monopoly. So you guys are good with that. And by the way, that is a business that is viable. That you could actually get out of high school, open a company, and buy from them. You could even buy the brands. You don't necessarily have to create. In this case, for the purpose of the exercise, we're gonna do private label. So you're gonna create your brand, but you could actually go to Luxottica. I want to buy Gucci wholesale. You can buy it from them. They manufacture. You could buy from them directly whatever brand they have, and you could actually sell it. I have a buddy that does that. One thing you need. So once you go to Luxottica, and they ask you, okay, you need MOQ 500. Let's say $10,000. Let's say if you don't have $10,000, they give you a form, and you apply for payment terms. Okay, sell me, I pay you within 30 days. Those are payment terms. It could be 15 days, it could be 30. What you need for that is called Dun and Bradstreet. Let me see, I'll write that for you. No, you're good. So your company credit, it runs through this. It's called Dun and Bradstreet. So let's say if I'm doing a contract with the federal government, they go to Dun and Bradstreet and they verify my company through Dun and Bradstreet. That's how your company credit runs. So your cost with this, I'm gonna tell you your cost. $150 to open up the company, $50 to put in the bank account, Dun and Bradstreet is free, and whatever money you have for the first purchase orders. So let's say you don't have any money, the bank's not gonna give you any money straight out of high school. You guys are broke, and you're supposed to be broke. You're supposed to struggle now. You take out a credit card. All of you guys take out a personal credit card, $2,000. You open up a merchant account in the company, and you swipe your credit card for 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. So we have $12,000, and you put it on your credit card, and then you have your first purchase order. So you guys are by far the best one I've seen, because you have something legit. You guys are together with them or okay? What are you guys doing? What?
Hair products.
Hair products? Okay. Hair products. I don't know anything about hair products, but okay. Do you have any idea where you could buy hair products from?
India.
India? Okay.
I
Well,
think Brazil. Yeah, what she said.
Okay.
She said India. I said Brazil. It was Caitlin who said India.
Brazil. Okay. Find it. Get on Google. You know, get on Google and try to be more specific. You know, what type of hair product. You got to put shampoo. You know, you got to put something specific. Uh, you got to be more specific. You know, the Dead Sea. You ever heard of that? You know why they call it the Dead Sea? Because the high content of salt is, you know, is such a high content of salt that there's no fish in the sea. Nothing lives. And when you don't sink in the water, you float. You know, and it's the high content of salt. The water is very oily. And when you go to Israel, you know, so when you go to the Dead Sea, you go into the Dead Sea, you can't get your ass wet. So people get the mud and they put it all over their body. And the high content of salt, it cleans the skin. It cleans the. So they use that mud, you know, and they use it to make beauty products. You know, I'm pretty sure they do it for her, because apparently it's really good for the hair or
I
whatever.
didn't do that with Aztec clay.
They, I'm pretty sure they do.
What it is,
But try to get into the specifics. Okay, this country. Um, how much should I buy? I want you to write the name. Just write it down on a piece of paper. Write down the name. And are you gonna be selling to a consumer? Am I going to be selling to a business? You know, if I sell to a business, I might not have to hold as much inventory. But if I'm selling to a consumer, I gotta have a lot of inventory. So try to think of an idea. Some businesses, it's a lot. You know, they're very cash heavy. You gotta put a lot of money, you know, up front. So you have to take those things into account. But I just go into the specifics and try to look at it. Okay, all three of us, we put up this, you know, this amount of money. We need to make it work. You have to look at it with that approach. Otherwise, you're not, you know, it's gonna be hard for you guys. I'm sorry. So try to do that. Write the name and be specific. You know, am I doing
like
something?
our own name, like
You're bringing it to market. You're bringing it to market. So I want you to come up with a name and, you know, an idea, and I'm gonna teach you how to get money for it. So let's say, like I was telling them, if you don't have money, let's say come out of high school. Let's say it's 5 of us. We don't have any money. We're broke, which, you know, is normal. You're supposed to be. So what we do is we open up the company. It's $150 to open it up. That's okay. $50 to put into the bank account. They got a Dun and Bradstreet number. You can write that one down, because that one you're gonna need it.
a what?
Dun, DUN, N. No, let's see. That's like your company credit runs. It doesn't run through the tax ID. So when let's say once you have a company, you take out a Dun, and that's free. You don't have to pay for that. They give it to you within 48 hours, and nobody knows it. I think it's more than 80% of companies in the U.S. they're in business and they don't have a Dun and Bradstreet number. And you're limited on credit. So you take out a Dun and Bradstreet number. That's how your your company credit runs. Once we go pay, let's say, okay, you gotta have $5,000. That's a minimum order quantity. In order, you might be able to buy 300, but you can't put your brand on 300 units. They tell you, okay, if you're gonna put your brand on it, you gotta buy $5,000 worth of, you know, inventory. So what we do is we take out a merchant account. You know what a merchant account is? A credit card. You know, so so I could swipe my credit card through the company. So merchant account, Square, for example. Now you know what I mean, right? A Square account. And then I take my credit card, you take your credit card, and we swipe it for $1,000. Now we got 5,000, and now we buy it from the company, and then but it came out of the personal. I don't have to go to the bank and get 8% interest, and the bank is not gonna give it to me, by the way. And to get 8% interest, not even 8%, they're gonna charge me a crazy amount. But that's how you get, especially at the beginning. Some businesses you don't have to have cash for it to be able to buy. Sometimes, have a customer and they sell. Have you seen it in the movies, the big oil tanks, like in Saudi Arabia, that kind of thing? The roofs of the tanks, they call floating roofs. And the oil is in the tank. As it goes down, the roof goes down. As the level of oil goes up, the roof goes up. So they sell each roof for like $1.5 million. And they're in Germany. Yeah, but they manufacture in Allentown, PA. And then what they do is to sell is they don't put up the money, the 1.5 million. They tell, okay, you pay me 50%, and then the other 50% once the order is complete. But 50% of the purchase order. I go to the manufacturer and I tell them, listen, I need you to go to manufacturer. Manufacturer's going to charge me. The manufacturer's going to charge me 40%, and then the other 60. I'm charging 50 and 50. So it's just an idea that you have, so you don't have to leverage your money up front. All right, up you go. What happened? What happened? Okay. All right, come on, everybody up. You said apparel, right? Apparel is what we're going for. All right, so they're doing apparel. Number one thing with apparel, you got to watch your sales. The more you sell, you could go out of business. Because you got different colors, different sizes. So you have to hold a lot of inventory. So you got to be very careful with that. So, okay, are you going to do, give me, what's the name? What? Norway apparel. What are you going to be selling specifically?
We're selling hoodies at first, and then we're going to expand.
Okay, see, they said hoodies. They're going to start with hoodies. That's a good idea. So that's good. Because you're limiting your SKUs, to a certain amount. Because even with one hoodie, are you going to do different colors? What colors? Okay. So you got 5 colors? Okay, so that's 5 different SKUs. How many sizes? So 3 small, medium, large? Small, mediums. So that's another 4. So you have a total of 8 SKUs. That's not too bad for apparel. So you're now, what did I say where you could go ahead and get the sourcing? What are you finding? Magic. So if you're doing apparel, where do you find apparel? How do I find where am I going to buy? Magic. They do it in Las Vegas every single year. So the factories that manufacture for Gucci, for Louis Vuitton, for Dolce & Gabbana, for Nike, for all these people, the factory that manufactures Air Forces, Jordans, they showcase in Magic. So you could go to Magic, you tell them, what is your MOQ, minimum order quantity? They'll tell you 500. And they'll say, a shirt that might cost you $500 with Gucci, you pay them $3.70. And they're going to ask you, FOB, freight on board. FOB is shipping included. When they say FOB, means that the freight, the shirts are already on the vessel. So the shipping is included. If they tell you FOB is not included, you're responsible for the shipping. So, Magic. So, if you ever have the idea, the reason why I'm sending it to them, because you never know. If you ever have the idea, I'm going to do an e-commerce store, I'm going to sell apparel. take out a plane ticket, and you go to Magic. That's where you get it. Apparel, what's the other thing? GSM. Apparel, you measure by GSM. They weight the thread. The higher the weight, the better the quality. So you want to go ahead and, the higher count. I think the higher count is, what do you call the Kanye brand? No, yeah, Yeezy, but, they don't make hoodies or something?
Or like the gap.
Yeah, something like that. I think those are like the higher quantity thread. And I think they're like 37 or something like that. But if you're 25 to 37, and then again, you buy a sample from them. Let's say once you order, you don't just buy 500 units. Tell them, I want to go ahead and buy a sample. And then you cut a piece of the thread and you put it on a scale. If it'll tell you by grams. And they're charging you, once you buy apparel, they charge you thread per gram. That's what GSM is. So you need to make sure that whatever you're paying,
Guys, when you do apparel, they always charge you by the thread
they charge you by the weight
count. By the weight and the thread count.
and the thread count. So if you buy apparel, you have to cut it and you have to weigh it. That's how you determine if the factory is giving you the right quality. So you weigh it. You're gonna sell e-commerce? Okay, e-commerce, simple. And this one I'm gonna go and explain it to you guys, so we can go through it quick. Shopify account, and if you do apparel, you gotta do marketing. So in apparel, you're as much a marketing company as you're e-commerce company. I would say you're more of a marketing company. So you gotta have something, and some of it, I don't know if you're here to explain the thing with the shoes. So I'm gonna give you an idea. I buy these shoes, and these shoes, is Beckett Simmons. They're out of London. They don't manufacture any shoes. They just design the shoe. Once I place the order goes to Colombia. They make it by hand from Colombia, and then they ship it to me. When the shoe comes, I'm getting a shoe quality of, I think the shoe quality is like $600, something like that, and I buy it for $150. The shoes are phenomenal, and they come with a handwritten note of the person that made the shoe by hand. So let's say if you're doing apparel, you have to find a way to connect to the consumer. You put a handwritten note from you guys, whoever packed it. Thank you for your business. I really appreciate it. Whatever. Handwritten, and you put the name of the person. So that way, because a lot of the times the consumer, especially nowadays, is buying your story, not the product. There's 5,000 hoodies out there. Why am I gonna buy yours? See, it wasn't that bad. Yeah. No, we're good. Shopify, e-commerce, Shopify, boom. And the other thing you want to do, you want to know, you look at your sales. Okay, what percentage of my sales are going to the southeast, to the northeast, to the southwest? And look at the demographic on those particular regions. And then, okay, if I'm selling more red, to the west coast, and they're 50% of my sales, I want to buy more red. I don't need to, so that's kind of.
They like to send it to like they open like the PO boxes and they put our brand.
And you send it to bloggers. You send it to bloggers. All right, what you guys come up with? Okay, let me see.
No me da pena.
No te da pena. A ver, dime.
Nosotros vamos a producir los tacos de fútbol.
Los tacos de fútbol, ok.
Vamos a crear una empresa llamada Export.
Ok.
Así es. Ajá. El producto lo vamos a producir en Brasil.
Oh, she said it in Spanish, so.
Ajá.
No, está bien, está bien.
Okay. El producto lo vamos a producir en Brasil y vamos a exportarlo. Vamos a crear una tienda online
Ok,
y tiendas presenciales a lo largo de América y Europa.
ok.
Solo en esa parte.
Ok, lo único, ¿sabes lo que les dije a ellos con los zapatos? El problema de todo lo que es zapato, mientras más vendes, más rápido quiebra. So, te voy a dar un ejemplo. Tú ves muchas marcas ahora en internet de ropa, ¿verdad? ¿Cuántas marcas tú ves de zapatos? No muchas. Es porque es muy difícil. Porque cuando yo mire el zapato, abre un momentico, después, todo el mundo usa un size diferente. Quiere decir que yo tengo que tener 10 unidades de esta, 10 unidades de aquel, 10 unidades de aquel, 10 unidades de aquel. ¿Cuánto? Y lo que pasa es que mientras más vendo, más inventario tengo que tener y la gente quiebra. Por eso es que nadie compite en el mundo de los zapatos. Ese es el problema con los zapatos. Y también cuando vas al mercado americano, ¿cómo tú vas a competir con Nike? Y déjame decirte, eso no importa que hayan cogido un negocio que no, en realidad, eso no te va a funcionar. Te lo estoy diciendo así y te lo digo, pero eso no importa que no te funcione. Por lo menos trajiste una idea y ya lo que importa es que sepas por qué no funciona. Y donde te acostumbres a mirar una idea y puedes diferenciar y decir, esto no va a funcionar por esto, esto puede funcionar por esto. Tienes que entender las limitaciones. Por ejemplo, si yo quiero fabricar medicina, no hay forma. Si yo quiero competir en los celulares, ¿cuándo fue la última vez? What do you have? ¿Qué tienes tú? No voy a seguir. Entonces, ¿por qué razón nadie quiere competir con iPhone? Es imposible. Es imposible. Simplemente hay mercados que simplemente es muy difícil competir. Y por muy apasionado que uno esté sobre ese mercado, es como nadar en una piscina con tiburones. Es un bloodbath. ¿Me entiendes? Tienes que entender esas limitaciones. Date cuenta. Lo que ellos están haciendo cuando es ropa es difícil. Pero cuando estás haciendo zapatos, mira, de ese zapato del que tienen los Jordan, ven un momentico. Yo sé que esos los tienen blanco y verde, blanco y rojo, negro y rojo. Puedo seguir para allá los colores. ¿Cuántos SKUs los puedes tener? Y de esos, de los que él tiene nada más, está 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. De esos zapatos nada más, ¿cuánto inventario tú crees que debes tener para vender esos zapatos? No voy a decir los otros. Uno solo. Es mucho dinero. Mucho, millones y millones de dólares lo que tienes que tener. Y también tienes que entender, el consumidor, es muy difícil competir con Nike en ese aspecto. ¿Qué es lo que hace Nike? Le hacen sponsorship a Messi, a Cristiano, a los futbolistas, ¿me entiendes? Tienes que entender, cuando tú estás entrando con un negocio, las limitaciones que tiene, no quiere decir que tú no llegues ahí después, ¿me entiendes? Pero solo que para que usen esa repetición. Si algún día tienes una idea, míralo desde ese punto de vista. ¿Cuáles son las limitaciones que tengo? Y desde el punto de vista realista, porque eso le pasa a mucha gente. Yo tengo un amigo que ahora invirtió $500,000 en fajas colombianas y perdió el dinero. Y todavía está vendiendo, pero tiene que vender 50,000 mensuales, están vendiendo 45,000. Y él invirtió 500,000 por 35%. Cuando eso no vale ni con $50,000 de venta, vale 500,000 en 35%. Hay negocios que tienen limitaciones y solamente tienen que entender eso. Y lo otro, si vas a fabricar, por ejemplo, si fabricas zapatos, lo más probable es que no lo vayas a hacer en Brasil. Geográficamente, mira el mapa. Si yo fabrico en Brasil, el envío a Estados Unidos va a ser más caro que de Colombia. Y Colombia tiene historia de fabricar zapatos. Muchas veces con mirar un mapa y geografía, tú lo puedes identificar nada más. Si tú me dices que voy a fabricar zapatos, socket cleats es difícil, pero de ese punto de vista tienes que miras un mapa y mira la distancia. Si estás lejos, las probabilidades sean. Y lo otro, mira el mapa, si yo voy a venderlo, vamos a decir que tú eres Nike y yo estoy importando, vamos a decir, de Brasil. ¿Dónde lo traigo? Si yo soy Nike, aquí. Porque aquí puedo vender aquí y puedo vender aquí. Si yo me pongo aquí para vender para acá, me es muy costoso. Tú lo pones en el medio siempre. Mucha gente se limita en eso. Aquí en Miami no hay industria de logística en ese aspecto, porque la industria de e-commerce está aquí. La línea, ¿dónde está Chicago? Chicago, right here. Aquí, a Texas. Esta es la línea. La población en los Estados Unidos está la costa este y aquí abajo. Si tú miras un mapa de los Estados Unidos por la noche, una foto de satélite, tú ves el centro de Estados Unidos está vacío. Todas las luces son las dos costas. Y donde está la población. So, tienes que entender eso. ¿Dónde está el mercado también? Lo mismo que si vas a hacer un servicio. ¿Dónde está mi mercado? ¿Qué es lo que estoy haciendo? ¿A dónde es que estoy vendiendo? Pero tienes que entender dónde están las poblaciones. La demográfica de esa población. Si tú puedes entrar a Google y te dice, ¿cuál es la demográfica del estado de California? Te dice el porciento de hispanos, de cómo se llama esto, de la edad, te dice de americanos, te dice de todo. Pero toda esa información lo tienes que tener antes. Cuando pongas el dinero, ya ahí no puedes echarte para atrás. ¿Me entiendes? Pero bueno. Si tienen alguna pregunta. ¿Alguna pregunta? Yo voy a empezar a venir una vez al mes. Lo que quiero es que me pregunten y que me digan, yo quiero aprender esto. Y yo lo que quiero es pasarle la información a ustedes. Lo que quieran saber, me tienen que preguntar. No tengan pena conmigo, yo no soy un maestro y yo no te voy a dar los grados. Yo soy una persona normal. Lo que quiero es que me pregunten. Si me están preguntando, entonces vamos por buen camino. Pero preguntas están supuestas a tener. Si tienen preguntas, vayan pensando y me pregunten después. Bueno.
Gracias.
No, de nada. I'll do it over here. I'm not gonna make. They're pretty squared away, so I'm not gonna have you guys go up because you guys are pretty square. But you have the idea, right? Listen, I'm gonna come once a month, and I'm gonna start bringing people in, and think of something that you guys want to learn, that you might want to do, whatever that may be. I don't really care. The medical industry, I'll go ahead and bring the purchasing manager from Mount Sinai, but I want you guys to go ahead and give me an idea. Hey, Nick, tell the guy I want to go ahead and learn about this. You want an architect? I'll go ahead and bring the architect to go ahead and go. And then I want to make the association from logistics to whatever you guys want to learn. I didn't get a chance to go through the motion with you guys, man, but I'm gonna be coming once a month. But you have the idea. You have the thing in mind, private label, white label. If you want to know how to do that, and if you ever decide to talk to Nick, tell him to give me a call, I'll get you somebody in that business so you can go ahead and for them to go, okay, that's how you do it. I have a client and he does it for CBD. They sell it to Brazil. So they do private label for CBD. And these guys, their cost, operational cost, not what they make, their profit, is $2 million a month in Brazil, not even in the US. $2 million a month. I don't know if you were here. They sell and they manufacture I think I told you. No, the chemical, the raw material that goes into CBD medicine, which is a powder, and they sell that powder for $18,000 per kilo, and it's legit. And out of that, 4,000. It's legit, and it's a growing market. It's a new market. Problem is that you're limited to what you see. Where do you live? Miami Springs. Oh, you only know Miami Springs. When I was in high school, it was the same thing. Southeast Hialeah. I only knew the dudes that I used to hoop with, and my range of vision was limited to that. You have to open your mind and vision. And everybody's making money, bro.
What's the best way to make money right now?
You can't just go about the best way to make money. Because the best way to make money for somebody is different than somebody else. I would say come up with an idea. Look at a product, try to be unique. Don't just go sell on Amazon. Amazon's gonna take 40% of your cut. You know.
That's a commission, right?
Yeah. So they bleed you to that. That's why everybody's pulling out of Amazon. But try to come up with an idea, and you have to start walking the path. And I have a buddy that he does e-commerce. So he sells it. So he manufactures in private label. He manufactures in China, and it's kind of like Apple watches. Kind of like Apple. Take it, man. I'll be back, man. Kind of like Apple watches, but he sells it for let's say farmers. Like raw. I got you. Farmers, people in construction. So the quality is very. And the dude, he's selling $500,000 to $750,000 a month. And he's struggling now because the sales are. He yeah. His sales are down, but if you got questions and you want to do that, I'll get the number. I got a couple people. I'll send his number to Nick. I'll talk to him, put you in contact. Then you give him a call. You tell him, listen, I spoke, and he's part of a group with me that there's a bunch of CEOs that we got together. There's 9 of us, and we mastermind. So you bring problems. It's called Vistas. That's something is international and it's a CEO group. That's confidentiality agreement, whatever. So I'll go give his contact to Nick. Whatever questions you have regarding e-commerce, you can call and tell him, listen, I'm in high school, this and that. I don't know. But e-commerce, you're as much as a marketing. Marketing is what I've seen plays such a big part. So the what? Well,
And you went to college?
I did accounting. I was a horrible high school student. I was skipping all the time. And Miami Springs now is a good school. Back then, I was in Miami Springs.
But like, if you suggest going to college too? Because me, like, I want to go to college, but just
College, college is good because you have to, in my personal opinion, depending on the career. If you want to be an architect, if you want to be an engineer, you got to go to college. If you want to be a doctor, in my personal opinion, you know why you got to college? Because you got to be on time and you got to show up. Because you got to be task oriented. You got to do the homework. You got to do the study. And when you come to me and say I have a college degree, what I see, if you know anything about logistics, I don't hire people from logistics. I don't, I hire engineers. I don't want anybody from logistics because I teach logistics and I want you to learn how I do it. But when I see and I know you went to college, I know there's a certain discipline that you have to go through. I know you're not.
What I would do if I was you play basketball, you get the scholarship, but like get a business degree. Then you learn about like balance sheets and like you learn about assets, you learn about all that stuff.
Finance and get into finance. Get into finance, man.
Business finance is solid.
Get into finance. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be back, man. I'll be back every month. Think of something and tell him. I don't want you to think of something and tell him because I want to teach you something that that you want to know. So tell him.